Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. I'm a little nervous as we hit the random button. You know why I'm nervous? We've had so many easy runs in a row. Now, you random Samson, that doesn't mean you're on an easy run, it doesn't mean you're not on an easy run, but step one, get your ergonomics in the right position. I don't want to end up as one of those gamers who's like, because I played esports at such a high level for so long, my hands don't work anymore. I want, you know, let's be smart. You gotta take care of your dang old body. You end up in this Andrew Luck situation. You're retiring after 7 years full time. NL, what do you think about Andrew Luck retiring? I don't know, man. I don't watch football. What I will say is, hey man, here's the thing. If for anybody who's not familiar, Andrew Luck retiring, my understanding is that whatever sports team you may or may not cheer for is like the best player, the player that gives you the hope that this season might be okay, is retiring. After what is like a way shorter career than anticipated for most people. So, you know, for the Canucks, it probably wouldn't be Elias Pettersson retiring because he's only played 1 year, but it would be like, you know, if Bo Horvat was like, you know, I've played in the NHL for like 5 or 6 years now. I think my time's done. That being said, I also understand, you know, when you're in a sport with a high risk of injury, you've had injuries before, you've already made $100 million. It's kind of hard for me to argue against getting out while the getting's good, right? Football's in such a strange position now. Ooh, you can't not take 9 lives. You gotta go for it. And I think now, in spite of the fact that it might seem a little dangerous, we gotta go into the curse room as well now to try to, you know, it's a low chance, but to double up on your guppy dream would be nice. You know, football is very interesting. You might say, NL, if you had a kid, would you let him play football? I don't know. I'm at the luxury of not having to answer that question, but I'm definitely leaning towards, like, you know, no. On the bright side, Canada has a, you know, not that large of a football history and a football culture, so we don't have to worry about it as much up here, but all the, you know, CTE and, excuse me, Ruka, all the CTE and etc., etc. I don't know. It depends, you know. It's a tough thing to talk about because people are very. Oh, thank you, Windows. I really appreciate it. People are very sensitive about their sport, you know, and I understand why. I see people. I rebooted my computer and it's doing this. This is why you never reboot your computer. Take it from somebody who's got an associate's diploma in software engineering. Rebooting, waste of your time. You just end up with this nuisance. You know, I'm kind of in the moral high ground, to be honest with you. It's very easy for me to be like, hey, the sport I don't really like that much. It sucks because people are getting all sorts of brain injuries. But, to be fair, it has happened in hockey a lot as well. Lots of people getting concussed. Not quite as many as football, maybe. Serious mental health issues for people that made their career in fighting, etc., etc., etc. It's tough to come to terms with, you know? But I just hate when, you know, I read sports media now and then. Not so much when hockey's not on, because it's just, you know, like Canadian sports media is basically like the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays. What's going to happen with the Raptors? Mitch Marner. You know, basically it's very, very Toronto driven, at least outside of Quebec. And the Blue Jays suck now. And I don't care about baseball. So I don't get that much mileage out of the sports networks. In the summer season, don't hurt me. I'll tell you that much. But no offense, Jays fans. I mean, you're talking to the guy. I've been a religious Canucks fan over the past few years, and they're the worst team in the NHL. If you take the combined record over like the last 4 years. Anyway, you know, it's always these like no talent hacks who have no perspective at all, and you know, and I have no idea how they even got their job in sports media. Like they got a bachelor's degree from Ryerson, and then we're like, hey, you know, Bob McKenzie takes 6 months off a year. You want to sit in his chair? Man, back in my day, you get shot in the arm, it doesn't matter. You go out and play a meaningless preseason game against the Cleveland Browns. Oh, you just go out, who cares if you got 25 concussions? You know, I got a concussion back in high school. Coach said, just go walking off, you'll be fine. It's just such an unhelpful attitude, you know? I gotta tell you, if I was in Andrew Luck's shoes, I don't know, it's tough to say. I would like to say, to be honest, I would retire while I still had, you know, relatively good physical condition and a high quality of life. But I'm also the guy who's like, I've got to make sure all the Isaac videos are ready to go. I don't want to let anybody down. So I might play until my my skull exploded, but I'm not totally sure. It does suck though. I mean, you know, if you're a fan of the Canucks and, like, you know, Bo Horvat, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser retired, I would be like, man, that's a bummer. But at the same time, you know, it's sports, you know, it's a game. It's not who cares, but, like, if it bothers you so much that, you know, you have, like, an actual, like, a mood problem as a result of it, it's probably a sign that you should maybe diversify your hobbies a little bit, you know? I know that sounds kind of rude and insulting. I mean, if that's what it takes to get my point across, so be it. I guess is what it comes down to. You know, I think once you start advocating for a young man to risk the health of his brain so that your Sundays are a little bit more entertaining, and the occasional Monday, and the very occasional Thursday, I might add, then you know, that's where you gotta consider it. I don't know, man. We're getting smarter about, you know, people's physical condition. If I have a kid, I don't want my kid playing a sport where he's you know, getting his freaking bones rattled all the time. I'm not gonna lose my bone heart because I'm a genius and guaranteed myself a demon heart in here. Anyway, I'm just saying. It's, you know, it's my favorite subject is, you know, I'm not like other streamers. I'm a cool streamer. But, like, to be honest, I do see that attitude from streamers all the time as well. Yeah, I did another 24-hour stream. Oh, I didn't get that much sleep last night. No, I haven't eaten yet. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, whoever's telling you that's cool is your enemy. Not taking care of, you know, the very basic aspects of your health when you have the means to take care of the basic aspects of your health, that's not cool. That's lame as heck, dude. You gotta treat yourself. Sometimes treating yourself means, hey, actually getting 8 hours of sleep. Or, you know, eating some foods that are green. Can I tell you what I had for dinner last night? I'm not saying it's the healthiest meal of all time, but it would have blown my mind if I had told, like, 14-year-old me that I had this for dinner last night. Probably would have blown, like, 19-year-old me's mind. We went, it slipped my mind, but Kate and I had social plans, go out to a pub, play some board games, and I had been banking on kind of like a low-key night at home. So when I was going out, I was like, you know, I'd already anticipated kind of keeping it low-key. So, I mean, what does this have to do with any? I don't know. Turns out that staging is not actually relevant for the story. But anyway, you know, suffice it to say, the point there is that I went begrudgingly, you know? So, came time for dinner. What did I have? I had a Caesar salad and a side of Brussels sprouts with a grilled chicken breast on top. It was the greenest meal I've ever eaten in my entire life. You know, it just felt right, you know? And again, you know, a Caesar salad, it's got croutons, it's got bacon in it, it's got a fatty dressing, but it's also got some delicious, crunchy romaine lettuce. Hopefully nobody's put their feet in it recently. Or wait, was that the E. coli one, or was that salmonella? I don't remember. Regardless, when I was When I was 17 years old and I went to freshman year of college, I didn't eat soup. Thought it was wet. Why would you want to eat a wet food for dinner? Dinner's for dry foods. Now it's like, hey, give me the 5 greenest things you got in the kitchen. And then perhaps an aspartame flavored beverage. That's the end of that anecdote. Suffice it to say. I gotta tell you though, this is gonna be an I'm getting old sort of episode apparently, because I was talking about this last night. The place we went to, I'm not gonna name it. There's a lot of board game, you know, pubs and cafes and et cetera in Vancouver. You know, they have been trendy for a while now. I'm just gonna hydrate here for a second. They've been trendy for a while now, so they've been around. Don't kill him. You wanna get the deaths list, dude. Here's how I know, like, look, I'm only 30. I feel like I've been 30 for like 10 years because I've mentioned it 1,000 times. It's still kind of a novelty for me to say, like, wow, I'm 30. But, you know, when I'm 31, maybe I'll shut up about it. Probably not, though. But, like, my number one thought in, like, 80% of bars and restaurants is, like, why is this place so GD loud? When you go to like a nightclub or something, which I never would unless it happens accidentally, like, hey, the after party for Champions of Fire 1 is at this really cool nightclub that actually sucks. But anyway, that's not Amazon's fault. Nor is it the Amazon's fault. I don't want to pile on. It's having kind of a rough week. Now, Death's List. Hey. Death's List. Death's List. Anyway, what I was gonna say is when you go to a nightclub, you expect it. You don't go to a nightclub and go, wow, how does anyone have a conversation here? Nobody has a conversation there. It's for dancing. When you go to a board game cafe, let's be honest, it's a board game bar, but, you know, you're trying to have a conversation. There's like rules to this game. Oh, during my attack phase, I choose to target you. And then, you know, blah, 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 I attach this piece of equipment and a blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, not only was it loud, like the music was really loud, plus it was karaoke, plus like, it was just, I couldn't hear myself think. I'm telling you, if I have kindred spirits here, I feel like I'm turning into Bernie Sanders. At least with respect to my old man energy a little bit. If I ever open a bar/restaurant, depending on, you know, if I'm opening it for a passion project, if I'm opening it for profit, I don't know, I'll just copy whatever the heck the most successful restaurant. Maybe I'll just get a Tim Hortons franchise or something. Starbucks, probably. Millennials love the Starbucks more, myself included. But if I'm opening it for like is a money-making opportunity, but it's also a place for me to hang out in my ideal, you know, environment, no music. I don't. If you walk into the place and you go, wow, it's dead in here, get out. You're not welcome. This is a place for people to come, eat, drink, play games, have conversations with one another. Why do we need it doesn't even matter what the music is. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, cool music or if it's uncool music by my standards. It's just why is it so loud everywhere? Does anybody here work in restaurant management? Can I get is there a book that was written in the 1970s that was like, hey, here's how the only way you're gonna run a restaurant, put on the top 40 as loud as possible. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm cut from a different cloth, you know? I like music. Believe it or not, I do. I haven't visited Pitchfork in like 10 years. Even still, in terms of number of impressions, it's probably in like the top 5 most visited websites I've ever been to. But I just like, when I'm out to have a conversation with my friends, I just don't understand why is it gotta be so loud. Or when you're having a chicken Caesar salad, why is it, you don't even have to nod, it's always a good time. Sorry, I woke up my cat when I did that. Sorry, Ruka. I'm sorry, buddy. What does that add to the experience? As just... I don't know. Like, I know it's is old man energy. It's also like how I felt when I was like at the more partying age. Like even when I was in my late teens, early 20s, never like walked into a place and was like, hey, isn't it sweet how loud this place is? You always walk in, you get braced for like a wall of heavy air to hit you. Death's List? Death's List? Oh, you gotta love it. A little Death's List action. I don't know about this one though. Got him. Oh, but then we screwed it up, I think. I mean, we didn't have a choice but to screw it up there, but still. Here's the thing. Maybe, here's my problem. Maybe my problem is not recognizing that there are other people like me. And perhaps even the majority of people are like me, but that those people also don't go out that much. And as a result, it doesn't make for that much of a viable business opportunity. Hey, introverts of the world, we've got a quiet place where you can be slightly less uncomfortable when you're outside. You see what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. The quieter it is, the more able their brain will be to be like, why am I paying $12 for a burger? The raw cost of the ingredients is only $6.32, depending on beef tariffs, you know? Anyway, we just talked for like 11 minutes about it being too loud in a general sense, so if you'll excuse me, I'll be purchasing a wooden box with which to spend eternity in, and returning to the loam from whence I was gotten. It happens all the time. You know, we're coming up to PAX. I'm not going to the Twitch party this year, which is not, like, the Twitch parties have been pretty sweet lately, to be honest. They've taken a lot of feedback and, you know, used it. They used to just be like, hey, we're gonna cram, like, you know, 300 partners into the top floor of this really, really, like, a hot and sweaty bar, crank up the music, and, like, hey, it's free drinks, you know? Just kind of a little bit too much of a sweltering party atmosphere. For my taste. If you like it, you like it. But, you know, the more recent ones have been way more like, you know, one of the ones, I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago, I can't remember. Yeah, last year was at, like, the Seattle, it was like the Pop Culture Museum. It was awesome. Because, you know, they had some video games there that you could play. They had digital art exhibits and stuff like that. And then there was, like, a dance floor if you wanted to go dance, which absolutely I don't want to do. But I'll just stay away from it. It's not that hard. Doesn't bother me that people are dancing. It only bothers me when you go to a place and it's like the only thing to do is the dance floor. Because then people are like, dance, and I'm like, no. And they're like, it becomes their personal mission to be like, I'm gonna change this man's life by teaching him how to love dancing. That'd be a first, brother. Let me just tell you that. But, you know, one of the common complaints is like, you know, so many people on Twitch, you know, are these super nerds who are into video games and oftentimes even like, you know, super analytical people, you know, maybe a little bit more introverted. And then every party is like, hey, we got like the 32nd most popular DJ on earth, crank up the music. And you're like, this isn't what I want. I want a quiet space to talk about how awesome Slay the Spire is, and, you know, maybe we could play some Captain Sonar or something like that. There's different brands of fun, you know. There's multiple different styles of fun. I feel like the quiet fun is very underrepresented. If you want to have fun and be loud, everybody's like, that's the norm. If you want to have fun and be quiet, people, sometimes I think they're guilty of being like, what's wrong with you? That's just my 2 cents in the subject. But I will say, you know, this has come across maybe, I hope it didn't come across too complaining. Oh, my exclusive party for very important people at twitch.tv doesn't suit my exact needs. I mean, first off, that's not even the case, because, you know, more and more of them actually have, like, spaces for, you know, multiple different ways to enjoy yourself. But secondarily, I'm like, you know, I get it. It's a very first world problem. I'm just saying. I want to be the ally of the quiet individuals. You can be quiet and still want to have fun. Anytime you're like, is this place a little too loud? People are like, oh, he just wants to be at home and read a book. That's not the case. I just want to be able to have... I mean, I talk for like, you know, 7 to 10 hours a day to begin with. You go to like a loud bar, and you're like, on my initiative phase, I choose to use my crossbow. And you wake up in the morning, and it feels like, you know, some dirt has lodged itself like right into your vocal cords. Like, just like a quieter... You know, like John Krasinski, A Quiet Place. That's what that movie's about. Not aliens. Not aliens. No. Wait. Yes? Anyway, we haven't talked about the run for quite some time. The run is very, very good. We are absolutely in a very, very safe position. I mean, we have a lot of amazing items. We're one item away from becoming Guppy. It feels like we're in, like, classic Isaac territory. You know? And I say that partly because it's easy. I also forgot we have the relic, which is amazing, but... We basically... It's tough to imagine a loss. And I feel like I haven't said those words in a little while. Probably should be trying to make Death's List work a little better, but... Who cares to some extent? You know, everything's looking extremely hunky-dory right now. Appreciate the Death's List, of course. No deal with the devil. And, no. Nah. I mean, we have 4 luck, but we also have insane HP. I know we're gonna have to go that way, but I don't really want to go that way. Maybe we'll get lucky and we won't have to go that way. It's hard to come up with stuff to talk about in Isaac if you don't have anything to complain about Isaac. You know? When the run's going well, you gotta be really careful with the discourse, because you certainly run the risk of just coming across, like, a little entitled, you know? Star's Wheel of Fortune is pretty good. There are obviously better things we could... Oh, hello. There's obviously better things we could do with blank card. 2 of Hearts is not one of them. But I think being able to teleport and then also more guaranteed items on the chest is very solid. Anyway, you know as well as I do, this run is like pretty much set right now. Might as well peep it. I regret everything. No, I don't regret everything, actually. You might be saying, NL. Oh, we got to teleport past the room. You genius. You might be saying, NL, how's life? You know, can't complain, brother. Can't complain. It's Monday. Monday's a busy workout day. How'd the workout go? Can't complain. How's the home life? Can't complain. How's the Pokemon Go? Finally caught a Wizmere yesterday, so you know what I'm about to say. Can't complain. Went grocery shopping last night. I got no anecdotes. It's a new world, dude. I will say though, I feel like the fact that we have no anecdotes is a little surprising, because there's been a lot of Vancouver stuff lately. It's got me feeling like the city is like a pot on the verge of boiling over. Sorry, I felt like maybe that was a good time for like a Batman style discourse, or more like Rorschach actually, but like I've been anecdotally seeing a rise in, you know, what I would describe as sketchy behavior in public. And then, you know, Corey was telling a story the other day. He tweeted it. Basically, he was on the SkyTrain, which is, you know, like our public train service, like our subway, more or less. And but the SkyTrain, you gotta admit, it sounds way cooler. And you know, dude was fiddling with this beehole, and you know, he spit on his hand and then like wiped it on the seat and the handrails and stuff like that. It's pretty disgusting. And then there was This thing went viral. There was a security alert on the SkyTrain. And this dude who sounds straight out of Letterkenny comes on the PA and goes like, "This is a SkyTrain security alert. A gentleman at Commercial Broadway was found exposing himself to riders and using a lighter to light his testicles on fire. So if you see him, just let us know and, you know, we'll take care of it. Have a good day." And you're like, feel like the city is pot on the verge of boiling over, brother. I feel like that's the case just like, you know, in the world right now. I definitely feel, you know, when I feel like we live in a less innocent age lately. You know, and part of that is good and part of that is bad. Because part of the lack of innocence now is just that stuff that has existed for a long time has actually come to light, if that makes sense. Bad behavior, societal problems, you know, stuff that's been maybe ignored or in the shadows for a while is now at the forefront of the news and thus the forefront of everybody's minds. And you know, sometimes when you have a wound, the only way to heal the wound is to expose it. You know, look at it in the harsh reality of the daylight. I can't believe we got Deathless to work there, and you know, run it out of town more or less. And then part of it is, you know, kind of feel like we're in a runaway. And dude, I gotta tell you, it feels weird because, like, you know, my life's as good as it's ever been. I'm not bragging, but I mean, maybe a little. But you know, it feels weird to be like, you know, lots of people are cheesed off all the time, but my life is sick. And, you know, part of that is due to the circumstances that I've been lucky enough to have afforded to me, and part of it has been, you know, due to hard work and, you know, good habits on my end that have led to that. But anyway, I'm just saying it feels weird when people are mad and you're like, I get why you're mad, but also my life's going okay. Not to say that things shouldn't be done about the problems, but I'm just saying I feel like I'm not in solidarity. I never have the moral high ground in an argument because I'm not sad. And that's BS. No, but, you know, I feel like we're on this this positive feedback loop of negativity. Let's coin a good pithy phrase like that. You know, bad news puts people in a bad mood, and there's been bad news. Hold on. I think we do want to use... Oh, dude. Forget me now. I mean, this is absurdly good, I think. We can lose blank card because it's extremely who cares hours right now. We don't need it to win. And we didn't get too much on the flip side here, but that's okay. I don't even want anti-grav. It's just too dangerous. Like, I think that bad news makes people more likely to be in a bad mood. When they're in a bad mood, they seek out more bad news. And they, you know, broadcast more bad news and spotlight more bad news. And then that leads to more people seeing the bad news and being angry all the time and yada yada and yada yada. Like every day, there's like a new hashtag. It's like boycott this restaurant. And what's messed up is that most of the time, like for Jimmy John's, when I clicked on the boycott Jimmy John's hashtag, and, you know, my man was like posing with like, he was naked on top of a shark that he had caught, looking like he was, you know, humping the shark. I was like, okay. I mean, that's an easy one to boycott because I don't even think they exist in Canada to begin with. But in the U.S., I think I would also be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. And that's the weird part, you know, is having this, you know, enlightened centrist opinion that, like, you know, I think it's good that people are mad about righteous causes to be mad about, but it also seems like, man, when does it end? You know, it's just like this endless well of bad news and negative mood for a lot of people. I think people have, I mean, you know, you're entitled to feel about it however you want. I'm kind of spinning my wheels here to begin with as we reach the end of the episode. But, you know, I think about it from time to time. Do you have a responsibility to be mad in solidarity with the people who agree with you, even if that has a negative effect on your life? You know? Because sometimes it feels like if you're not getting mad about something, that you consider an injustice, that you're kind of like a traitor. You're acting outside of your personal beliefs. You know, other people are mad and they're doing something about it by retweeting. What are you doing? Well, I don't know. You know, maybe, and this is just maybe, I'm not trying to be condescending about it. Maybe by taking care of, number one, making sure that I'm okay. You know, I can put some more positivity out in the world by doing my job, you know, and alleviating a little bit of that discomfort that people are having. That, you know, I think that's where I'm better served, I guess. I don't know, it's just, we're still, I really feel like, and I don't think I'm the first person to acknowledge this, especially with respect to social media and politics in particular, but now also, like, it's permeating pretty much every aspect of life. You know, I feel like we're in a new epoch. You know, let's not use a $5 word. I feel like we're in a new era. You know, like the baseball hat, where things are just, you know, when I watch like movies from 10 years ago, TV shows from 10 years ago, I'm like, this feels like a generation that's gone by. Like, things don't feel the same. Part of that is because, like, I'm in a different place, but, you know, I also think, like, the world is in a much different place, and, you know, they're still figuring out, you know, what's the, how do you interface with these newfound changes? I don't know why I said it like that. Do you opt out and go, I don't see what everybody's mad about? You know, there have been bad things since human history started. Or, you know, do you turn your entire brand into spotlighting things that upset you and, you know, approach it that way? I mean, the spoiler there is, you know, absolutely, this is not my intention. Or, you know, I'm like a blind man feeling my way in the dark here, trying to figure out the way they interface with this new internet until I make enough money that I can go live in the woods. With a fiber connection, but still. So there's my friggin' anecdote. You happy? See you at PAX on Thursday. Anyway, easy wins. Dude, we're almost at a double-digit win streak. It's a beautiful thing for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. See ya!